So it's springtime in Virginia right now, and you might find yourself gardening or perhaps at least bending down to pick a flower. And this has me thinking about what is the best way to bend down without causing any knee or back discomfort. So, for today's tip, I thought I would use a chair to review some of the Alexander Technique principles that might be useful to you as you bend down to the ground. So go ahead and find yourself on a flat bottom chair. Maybe you add a little blanket or cushion so that your hips don't feel constrained. And then, as usual, finding your feet connecting to the ground, thinking of your hip joints softening and your sitting bones being on the ground. So, as we discuss in yoga class a lot, there's this connection between the head and the pelvis. And we want the head and the pelvis to counterbalance each other. When I bend forward, it's almost like a drawbridge. The head goes forward, but what we forget sometimes is that the pelvis, uh, including the sitting bones, needs to go back in opposition to the head going forward. So let's play with that in the chair here. The feet are on the ground, and you're going to first push the ground away with your feet. So we don't want your feet to disconnect from the ground. You can't really see it here, but when I push my feet into the ground, it's almost like I'm sliding each foot forward, but the feet don't move. It's an isometric movement. But when I do that, I feel myself kick back into my pelvis. And then I'm going to keep that action going to maybe just bring the forearms onto the thighs. But remember, your seat is going back. You could think bottoms up. And then it's almost, if your ankles are right under you, it's almost like you just sway forward through your tabletop and ankles and sway back. So there's a sway available. You don't have to pull forward or lurch forward with the chin, the shoulders, the neck. That's what we often do, is we pull from the front line. So maybe just experiment with that. And then you can get that flower. And then if you have more range of motion, of course, the same principles apply. You push the feet into the ground, go back into your pelvis, and then your hips might be able to rise higher, and you could do more like a forward fold. I still have a healthy bend in my knees, and there's no strain in the knees because they're over the ankles. I haven't pulled forward, right? So play with that a little bit, whichever formation works for you, and see if those principles don't help you to feel more at ease, so that eventually when you don't have the chair with you anymore, you can still think of having that chair so that you can do your gardening or get your flower. So thanks for joining me. I hope to see you soon.